Good evening and welcome to the Voices of Change. My name is Lady J.
And I'm Shamel.
Shamel, the co-host with the most.
Oh,
the absolute best co-host in the world. Young, beautiful, gifted, all that good stuff.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I forgot one thing. Smile in Chicago.
This is true. You can only see it here on Intellectual Radio.
I'm loving it. We'll be your host this evening. Things going on for today's show. We will discuss recent issues and we're going to take your calls. We're going to talk about just a whole bunch of different things. There's so many things going on, and feel free to give us a call. The call-in number when we open up the lines, 708-223-53. A big shout out to our sponsors, GV Entertainment, Oda Enterprises, and Gray Tax Service. 3 weeks away. E-filing begins on January 29th. If you do not have a tax preparer, you can call Gray Tax Service at 773-417-2094. Show off with the scripture for today. It's from 8 verse 17. And it says, "For all that is secret will eventually be brought, and everything that is concealed and made known." I'm going to be right back after a quick break, and we're going to go in then with the news you can use. Only on Intellectual Radio, Voices of Change. You're listening to the Voices of Change on Intellectual Radio. This segment is called Recy Taylor, whose life story inspired the movement to end the racially motivated rape of Black women during the Jim Crow era, age of 97. Taylor became a catalyst in the movement to put an end to the racially motivated rape and mistreatment of Black women, following her own sexual assault at the hands of 6 white men. While walking home from church, she was abducted, blindfolded, and raped repeatedly at gunpoint by the group of men. Her case was later taken up by civil rights icon Rosa Parks, who worked tirelessly to see justice prevail. Taylor's rapists were never indicted. Her story was chronicled earlier this year in a documentary titled The Rape of Recy Taylor, which aimed to shed light on the sexual terrorizing of many Black women by white men during the Jim Crow era. Was also highlighted during the Golden Globe Awards speech. Free. You know, before the speech, had you heard? I hadn't heard of Recy.
No, I hadn't heard of her before either.
What'd you think about Oprah's speech?
Of course, Oprah can give you a speech that makes you think, "Oh my goodness, I can do everything."
It was riveting. She was just inspirational.
Exactly.
She was. Okay, now here's the big question. Maybe you don't want to talk about it now. Maybe you want to talk about it later. But ever since the speech, it catapulted her to be president. And if you don't want to answer it, no problem. Or if anyone out there wants to comment on it, again, feel free to give us a call, 708-223-8953. What do you think about that?
I think she needs to stay where she's at. I think she's a-okay. She needs to relax. She worked so hard the past years and years, and we have the Oprah network. She's gonna have to take away from that. I need Queen Sugar, so I need I need her to stay in her own network and continue on with what she's doing. I think she's doing a great job and giving other people chances to work with her and to work on her network. She's opening doors for other actors who never had the chance. So I think she needs to stay out of that ring.
I think that's one of the best responses I've ever heard.
Yes.
Because not only, I mean, you didn't say that for whatever reason you wouldn't vote for her. You didn't even go there. You just said that she's giving so much value to our community,
Mm-hmm.
doing what she's doing
Yep.
now, to stay in her lane and continue doing that.
Yep. Needs to do.
Now that's a great response. A great
Yes.
response. I told you, Shamel, the co-host with the most. I told you.
Thank you. The U.S. Navy will honor civil rights icon and Georgia Congressman John Lewis in a big way by naming a replenishment oiler ship after the leader. The announcement, delivered by Secretary of the Navy Ray Mambas, was named Wednesday afternoon in Washington, D.C. Lewis, who tweeted that he was grateful for the honor but reportedly cried about the idea months ago.
That
Was
was
just
nice.
it's for being honored and seen for what they have done for
For years and
yes.
years of being in the trenches, and you
Hmm.
know, cry. He probably did get emotional. I think
Yeah.
that's. I'm glad that they're recognizing and honoring him. And it sounds like we may have a call.
Legendary rhythm and blues recording artist Denise LaSalle has died. 88 is known for such R&B hits as Trapped by a Thing Called Love and Now Run and Tell That. She was inducted into the Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame in 2015 and has recently branched into a gospel genre of music. Miss LaSalle recorded and performed in Chicago during the 2017 Blues Fest.
Now I know you probably never heard of Denise LaSalle, have
What?
you? You have?
Yeah, I love the song Love Me Right. That's a pretty awesome
Love Me
song.
Right. I remember Trapped by a Thing Called Love.
Well, I know that song too. I have, well, my mom, I,
Love Me Right. Huh.
yes, but
Just
I'll
a
show
bar
you
of it.
later.
Wait, just one little bit of it.
I'm not singing, Janice.
Just oh my gosh.
We have to look it up later.
Love Me Right. I have to get that.
Yes.
But yeah, she was an icon back in the day when she was really in her heyday, and she kind of, she started out, I guess, with R&B and now blues, and then they said gospel. So she's kind of went all
Hmm.
the genres, but
That's sad.
yeah, she's gonna be missed. And she was just here in Chicago at Blues Fest. So
Exactly.
according to CNN, Hagan, 69, walked out of the minimum security Lincoln, Connecticut facility. The facility is located at the intersection of West 110th Street Boulevard. Hagan had been a full-time work release program since March 1992 that allowed him to live at home with his family in Brooklyn 5 days a week, prison just 2 days. Hagan was no ordinary prisoner. He is the only man to have confessed in the killing of Malcolm X, who was gunned down while giving a speech in New York's Audubon Ballroom in 1965. It's about my participation in that, he told the parole board, and further said, I don't think it should ever have happened. Been sentenced to 20 years to life in prison after being found guilty at others 6. The other two men were released in the 1980s and have long denied involvement in the killing. Never heard of this, huh?
No, not at all. And he got to live at home 5 days and just report.
Well, to me, the whole thing is very suspect because, you know, when you hear the deep dive analysis of Malcolm X's death and execution, the guys in the audience didn't even do it. They said that the trajectory from the bullets came from guys were in the audience. So yeah, they had those guys, and I guess they were there to do what they were going to do. But and this, I don't know if this is urban legend. I don't know how factual it was, but they said that the bullets actually came. from the top. And in addition to that, the Audubon Theater was rented by someone within the government prior to Malcolm X's last speech. So the whole thing is suspect. To your point, why this man that said he did it, why was he able to 5 days a week with his family?
Yes. It's like, and just report back to jail
And
for 2
report
days.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
The whole thing was very
Yes, that's
suspect.
suspectful itself.
Very suspect, but
A white Kansas state lawmaker arguing against the legislation of marijuana suggested that it and other drugs were originally outlawed in part because blacks were predisposed to abusing drugs because of their character makeup, their genetics, and that. State Representative Steve Alford, Republican, apologized Monday for his remarks he made Saturday during a public meeting at a hospital in Garden City. One NAACP leader called him an idiot over the remarks. I mean, because of their character makeup and their genetics and that.
I guess he's saying that we're genetically predisposed to over abusing drugs, but I guess his family or his race isn't.
Right.
I mean, it is ignorant because he hasn't even looked at research. But then you have to consider the source. I mean, he just probably said it right off the top of his head, and he's going to say he argued against legalizing marijuana because of black people predisposition to. Oh, gosh. Cincinnati. And it keeps going on and on and on. A youth basketball team with a sexually suggestive team name, the Cincinnati Recreational League, after wearing jerseys printed with individual names that observers deemed racist. The team from suburban King Mills was dismissed from the Cincinnati Premier Youth Basketball League after an opponent raised concerns week of games. A parent from the opposing team says players from the name of their team, the Wet Dream Team, wore jerseys labeled with names that included. Now, this one was creative. I've never heard this one. Okay. It's actually 2 words, knee and grow.
Knee.
Like your knee growing. Or like Negro.
Yeah, right. And they thought that was an okay.
Oh my gosh. And they also wore that on the back. And Coon. 2018. How could a team represented by any kind of, I don't know what they were, youth basketball team, how could the coach and their parents and whoever supported them, whoever funded them, allow them to walk around with a team called the Wet Dream Team? Grow and Coon?
Yes. Well, the dignity of some people, International retail giant H&M has apologized for an ad featuring a black child model wearing a hoodie with the phrase, "coolest monkey in the jungle." The online advertisement for the top for sale in the UK. Quote, "We recently apologized for offending people with this image of the printed hooded top," H&M said in a statement. "The image has been removed from all online channels, and the product will not be for sale in the United States. We believe in diversity and inclusion in all that we do, and we will be reviewing all of our internal policies accordingly to avoid any future issues," they said in a statement.
What do you think about that one? I've been hearing so much about that. What do you think about it?
I mean,
come on.
The mom stood for it. Hey, that's what mom likes. Mom is okay with it. At this point, I don't think I'm like, ooh, I'm not buying anything from H&M. Usually, I'm like, oh no, I don't buy anything from certain people who I feel are racist or anything like that. But at this point, I don't think that I feel that way because I see different things online, like, oh, there's another company out where there's a monkey as pretty much a lot of African Americans wear that, and it's like, well, how are you upset about this, but you wear the monkey on your shirt? So there's some kind of designer that has a monkey as their logo. Yeah, mascot is everywhere on the clothes. So it's just like,
Well, being kind of old school from historical
Hmm.
context, I was offended by it because
Yeah.
they've called black people coons.
Before. Yep.
Even in the story before in 2018, the Cincinnati basketball team had coons. Some of them had coons on the back of their
Exactly.
shirt. They've called us monkeys. During the world wars, when our black servicemen went overseas to Europe, they told the white women that the black was like monkeys. It kind of backtracked on them because I think that made the women more interested in.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
yes.
But historically, one thing that they've always kind of said, monkey,
Exactly.
a little black monkey,
Exactly.
a monkey. But then on the flip side, when you heard from the mother, yeah, originally, even though we know it was something that they were selling in the UK, she was okay with it, and she
Yeah.
said, "Relax." She said, "Why are you getting so?"
United States, she doesn't understand that. It's
She should understand because
a toll.
racism is not something that's
Mm,
only here in the US. It's
exactly.
it's it's global. But if she's okay, then you got to think about this. Some kids have a nickname of Chunky Monkey. Some of you
Yes.
little thick kids. Come on, I know
Yes.
you're like, I'm a
Yeah.
Chunky Monkey. So I is one historically, I didn't feel that H&M. I'm sure that they have to go through the rigor before anything is approved. I don't think it should have been approved, but
In the back, who's in the background? Like and then there was a little boy next to him. His sweater
what did
said
he have
something.
on?
His
His
sweater
was
said,
something monkey too, but
no, it
what was
wasn't
it?
about a monkey. Like he was pretty much he was the conqueror. Like he was the stronger one. Like he was the most.
Really?
Yeah.
I wish I had both of those pictures now.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It was interesting.
But yeah, I was offended when I first heard about it. I was like, they let that go through. I could see them attempting to get it go through. But I know whenever you have even something as minor as that, as a model shoot with a logo on it or a slogan on it, it has to be approved. So
Yeah.
I'm just surprised I went through. But when I heard how the mother felt, then when P. Diddy, no, what does he call himself now? He doesn't call himself P. Diddy. What's his new
Yeah, he
name?
called Diddy
Oh, I thought he changed his name. Anyway,
back.
when Diddy offered him $1 million contract to model,
I wouldn't deny it.
and I'm thinking, why don't you go out here and just look at one of these random little cute kids and offer them a contract? His mother's happy with this.
Ex-
To
exactly.
me, why
She is
reward?
happy.
She's happy with it.
Like,
So
and that's the news you can use only on Intellectual Radio and iHeart Station. We will be right back after a quick break.
just tuning in, you're listening to the Voices of Change only on Intellectual Radio. My name is Lady J. And this segment, we're going to continue our discussion well, we're going to be talking about all kinds of things. In fact, we are going to also be taking your calls. You can call us at 708-223-8953, 708-223-8953. Before getting started, I want to give a shout out to the other Ricky Smiley. Hey, Ricky and Elliot Bell, I see you. Mr. Reed, I see you're on there too. Come on. I'm looking for a couple more people. Don't be shy. Make your comments. Also, if you have a comment, something that we've mentioned earlier, feel free to call on that. Recently watched a story on Facebook post and reported on by Al Jazeera America about why Black women are not getting married. It went on to say, ladies, I'm here to say I understand how hard we have to work as Black women to be successful in this world, because as quiet as it's kept, we're at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to society. Yes, I agree with that. We're at the bottom. There's the white man, the white woman, and then us. So when we do become successful and hold these positions, making a six-figure salary, and have planned out our perfect man, I think we find it hard to settle, or what we would think is settling. So she's talking about a video that actually talked about how hard it is for Black women, or Black women they're having a much harder time finding a husband or getting married. Let's read the first point.
All right. More available Black women than men because of prison. According to the video, Black men are 6 times more likely to be behind bars than white men. This is heartbreaking, not only for marriage, but for our families in general. This is our fathers, brothers, cousins, and etc. So now what do? We need to get involved, not just as a Black woman, but as a community. We all have those troubled children and relatives that we choose not to deal with or help because they are in a different situation than us.
Okay.
I believe that's true. I mean, you don't
I
want to.
I didn't really like how it started, because I always hate when they preface it with the bottom. But I hate when they say that, we're making our 6 figures and we're doing this and doing that. Like, that's the most important things.
It's not.
There has been a lot of successful women, but
very out of their race. According to the census, Black men are 2.5 times more likely to marry outside of their race than Black women. Sisters who said it was wrong to date outside of their race. Who said it was wrong?
Well, a lot of people. Well, I there's some merit, I believe, to that, because I'm not talking about you and Miss Open Minded over here, and and that's okay. That's okay. But oftentimes, Black women are very. They'll do.
That is the last thing I would do. Yeah, gotta be like last resort. Like, all right. But then again, you never know what happens. Okay, maybe you fall in love with that person. Maybe that's who it's meant to be. But I want some melanin in my children, like all melanin.
Okay, I like that. Okay,
not just a little bit,
but all melanin.
All melanin.
And like to get married later. Tell us something we don't know. We've known this all the time. So they talk about, why are you waiting around forever? It's not about waiting around forever. I think it's about finding that right person, befriending them, having a relationship, and having a go at it. The last point is, marriage is no longer the key to climbing the economic level.
Yeah, no.
Well, I would admit this. There's definitely more with 2 than 1. Have 2 people working, 2 incomes, you're going to have more disposable income.
Exactly.
So I guess in a sense, yeah, okay, I'll buy this one. But it just sounds like they're looking for a husband to climb and
with his money,
be in a different economic class, when you're actually looking for a husband to have a partner and a friend or whatever.
Yes.
Economics, I mean, but anyway, this brings another topic now. Okay, so we prefaced it by saying that Black women are having a harder time getting married than other women. I'd have to read some more data on that to see if that's actually true, because sometimes these are skewed. I don't know. Do you think it's? Yeah, you're You're 21, 22. When I was 21 and 22, I was going to weddings like every month. Now, I mean, think about it.
No.
I would hate when someone would call me because I'm thinking, oh God, if I got to be in another wedding, that's another $500, $600.
Yeah, no, not today. No,
Okay. Okay.
not at
So they're
all.
not getting married. Yeah.
That's not a thing now. It's all about they're
It's not
just.
even important, is it? Is it important?
I don't know. I know friends who've been dating years now and still not haven't even popped the question. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Hey, I don't think they're really pushing it. They just gonna take it as it comes, kind of thing.
Hmm.
I don't know what's
A
going
lot of
on.
time wasted doing that, taking it as it comes. But anyway, so sometimes Black women are finding it harder. Some data shows that it's more difficult for Black women not getting married. Did I tell him to do that? This brings us to another topic. This is what we actually wanted to talk about. Another post, and there was so much chatter on it. Don't lose a loyal man because he's occasionally unfaithful. Did you see that
Oh, I
post?
did see that post,
Now,
and it had a
the whole
picture of
thing.
Beyonce and Jay
Yep.
Z.
Don't lose a loyal man because he's occasionally unfaithful. Look at loyal. What is loyal? Loyal is giving support, faithful to commitment. So if you're married and you commit to be, I guess, in a sense, then you're not holding up that commitment. But I understood what it meant when they said don't lose a loyal man because he's occasionally unfaithful. But what does occasionally mean? Does it mean he's unfaithful twice a month, once a month?
What's their definition of occasional? You're right.
Yeah. What is a definition? Then I always try to take different points and different perspectives. Is it so unusual for women? Maybe you're not told this. This is generational, but for women to be told care of you and he's paying the bills and he's respecting you, let a man be a man. Have you ever heard anything like that?
But
Okay.
I've heard it, but not,
Okay.
and like that's something I've heard before. But
To you.
no,
Okay. Okay.
no.
And it kind of makes you want attitude down. What does someone being faithful, what does it do to one's self-esteem? I
Yeah,
wouldn't impose how I feel on you or vice versa. No judgment, but a lot of women or men or whoever's being cheated on, it depletes their self-esteem. Feel less than what they are. They're always questioning why. What am I not doing? What's wrong with me? Think about what's that basketball player that cheated with the girl at the hotel, and
Kobe Bryant,
Kobe Bryant. Thank you, Kobe Bryant. He had his little whatever he had. Then he bought his wife this huge ring, right?
and then gave her like 5 kids. No, I'm just kidding.
And that's common. It's kind of a cheating cycle. I cheat, then I give you all this good stuff, and then you're like, well, he's going to probably change. If he's a cheater, he's not going to change. We're talking about a one-time, oops. We're talking about a cheater. If it's a cheater, it's not going to change. Do we have someone on here saying something? I see. Look at this.
I,
Oh, you know what? He needs to call in. I should have had him on the show because
right?
actually he's the one who I saw who posted this. All started. Oh, name. Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Hmm.
Hmm. Well, he's posted it, so I hope he doesn't get offended with me saying it. But he was talking to his daughter. Oh my gosh, he has this beautiful daughter who's about to be a doctor, and he's trying to talk to her about finding a good man, and
Mhm.
he wants her to be not naive, kind of understand the world as it is, and to realize
Yes.
that the man who you want to spend your whole life with, who you think is everything,
This my dad told me that too, though.
your dad did.
Yeah, he's told me the truth, and I understand it. And at this point, after having conversations with Mr. Khalid a few times, I'm just like, okay, well, I just gotta face the fact one day that it's gonna happen. He made a believer out of me.
Are we letting men off too easy? Are we? I mean,
It's sad.
because
I mean, we can do it too. Mad.
no, I
Yeah.
think,
Think you're
and
mad
I'm
too.
generalizing, so I know sociologists are going to say don't generalize, but whatever. I think for the most part, men act different when they're cheated on. If I cheat on my husband differently than if he cheated on me.
You will.
I mean, I'm
His
just
reaction
saying.
will be different from yours.
Yeah, well, and I can kind of understand it when you're in the when you're in the age group of having babies, because then there's issues if you get pregnant, the baby's back. You know what I mean? So I think we have a caller. Could you give me your name and where you're calling from?
Khalid Scott, calling from South Holland.
Oh, my buddy Khalid, you're the one who got it all started. Good evening, and how are you, dear?
I'm doing well, ladies. How y'all doing this
We're
evening?
All
doing
right.
good.
How are you?
We're doing good. Hey, she's a believer. She talked about when you were here, her father reinforced it, and she said, you know what? I think it just may be a truism. Maybe it may happen.
It's serious.
We got to look at the world through clear lenses instead of rose-colored lenses sometimes.
And Khalid, do you think I'm looking at it with rose-colored lenses if I expect whoever I decide to spend my life with to be faithful? Okay.
Absolutely,
Khalid, you should have been on here today.
absolutely, you are. And let me put it like this: say you get married this summer, okay?
Okay. Hmm.
And say you blessed to stay with this gentleman for the next 20 years.
Okay.
Do you absolutely positively believe that he will not cheat in no form or fashion here, period?
Hmm. Let me ask
Do you
this.
think you will provide all of his needs, wants, and desires years
Yes.
when there are websites designed to find mistresses?
Well,
For us as a society that promotes sidekicks and side chicks.
Man.
let me flip it on you then. If we've been married 20 years, is he providing me with everything I need for the 20 years? Does he expect me to be faithful?
That's how arrogant us men are. You a married woman, you keep your legs closed.
And you're a married man and you're supposed to just pull yours down all the time, right?
And I,
Oh,
but guess what? But guess what? Your girlfriends are gonna come after me, especially if I'm halfway decent.
that's true.
That's true.
That's true.
Mm.
The lady down the street, the co-worker. You know what I'm saying? And especially if I'm an African American male, got it going on, doing what I'm supposed to do, and this myth of there's not enough good men out here. So hey, let's share. What she don't know, Warren, and again, I know that women are cheating now. Like I said before, you all are not sloppy with it. We are.
Yes. Yes.
That's you have a point there, but I kind of think that the expectations now is so low because now if you're in a relationship, you can anticipate the man cheating
Yes.
at one
Pretty
point or
much.
another.
It takes a strong man, a moral man, to say, you know what? No, let me go home to my wife. Go home to the woman I'm committed to. I was having a conversation with two at dinner on Sunday, and we were talking about why is the stats that black women is like 62% wide
Yeah, we talked
as
about that.
compared to other races of women. I told my two lady friends were how sisters got to come to the middle because what Becky has learned, what Sumad Sharif has learned, and what Kim Lee has learned is no. See, with other races of women, they in their head, I need a man. Man, I am not a woman if I don't have a man. With, okay, I desire a man, but I can do with or without. Pass this message over to us men, and we like, oh, okay, so we're options. And what we're going to do with that?
You're basically saying that Kamora Lee or Sue Lee and Becky and everyone else feel that they need a man, but Black women generally hire a man. They don't have to have one for survival. They don't have to have one to breathe, to live.
Right. And see, think about it. Think about the races of women that you know, that you all know personally. Them come out their mouth saying, I don't need a man. I heard Becky say, I don't need a man. I'm waiting.
Becky will say it.
What now?
Becky will say it when you're out drinking with her. She'll talk stuff about, I don't need a man. Becky will say it too.
But let her go home.
Well, people always have a different front when they're around their friends versus when they're at home. Just like leaving a man. Sisters will say, you know what? Oh, he's this or that. You need to just walk. But if it came to them and if they were in the same situation, oftentimes they wouldn't do that. So you can't go by someone what people tell you. Yeah,
absolutely.
You can't go
and
by
even
that.
Going back to that post, also what he meant was, just like you said, Janice, if I'm providing the 80%, you may need to let my 20% go or just go. Especially if I'm giving you the 80%. Man could cheat on Beyonce. If a man could cheat on Halle Berry, then
yeah, that just
ladies, if you think about it, Beyonce every year comes out with a national anthem for women.
Yes,
about
she does.
How empowered she is. This woman has had 5 miscarriages and said that her husband has cheated on her multiple times. Say the independent woman put a ring on it. Why are you going back to Jay-Z? Explain that to me.
She's going back to Jay-Z because not only does she obviously love him, he's a partner, he's a friend. That's probably her best friend. Going back to him.
Right, but see, for
she doesn't need it for economic gain. She just goes back to him because she wants to be with him.
Understand that, but then you can't take that. People can't take you serious then. National anthem about empowerment women, and then you go back with a man who cheats on you to the point where your sister jumps on him on the elevator. Like a hit album talking about his cheating with Becky with the good hair, and then he makes a hit album cheated. It's one thing to be cheated on, but you all are making a spectacle out of cheating. Well, if Beyonce can accept cheating, why can't I? All the polls, hundreds of women was like, I wouldn't dare take it.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Take it. But then you know they would go back home to the cheating man.
I think it's just setting a horrible precedent. I think it's not having any expectations for him. I just think that this is the world that we live in, and if you're going to have a mate, maybe it's better. I don't know. This is perplexing to me. Talked about this many times.
Now talking to my daughter, Twitter. I gotta say, Anaya, I don't know if you're gonna marry another doctor because you want to be a doctor. Rico drives a CTA bus.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And sweetie, you might marry a doctor. You might marry Barack Obama Jr. Cheat on you.
Oh, man.
And I hate as a dad to have to tell my child that. But I know the reality.
Well, Khalid,
if we're doing it and we're in our 40s, you don't think these millennials are not out here doing it?
Damper when you talk about that, but I appreciate you calling in. It's always good hearing from you. And always tune in and hit me up and tell me when you're coming back on the show so we can argue a little more.
Absolutely. You all have a wonderful
evening. All right. Thanks, Khalid. Have a good one. Bye.
Yeah, he ruins the evening, doesn't he?
He does every single time, every time, because and what he says is logical. But if that's how it's going to be, then why even get into it? Because think about it, you're going to get into it, get involved, fall in love, then the
Exactly.
disappointment
And then you
again.
get
So
hurt.
so why? This
Yes,
is
then you get hurt.
let me holler at some of the people that I've seen that have Taylor, hey, what's up? Joyce, and I won't call you any of those names. Welcome. I'm so glad you're on. Sharia, hey, how are you? Lisa Scott, you're watching too? I thought you would have some kind of input on all these, but that's okay. That's okay. It's always good that you're there. Thomas, hey, cuz it's always good to have you there watching. So we were talking about Mr. Scott was on the line giving his input about the statement "Don't lose a loyal man because he's occasionally unfaithful," and what Mr. Scott has been here often. He said that basically all men cheat. I mean, they
That's
don't
true.
cheat all at the same time. They don't cheat. Basically, all men cheat. And he
Yeah.
was actually prepping his daughter and telling her that you may find Mr. Right. He may be the perfect guy, but the harsh reality is that he'll probably cheat on you.
Give your commitment, like you said, to anyone.
Why even? I mean, if it's going to be a vicious cycle. Okay, so you give your commitment, and then you're all in love, and everything is fine. Then bam, he cheats, and then start over again, and start over again, and start over again.
Like
What
I
the hell?
said, revenge. You just go back with it. Like, okay, well, either we just gonna have this open relationship or something.
Now that's why I was asking him. Well, what about the woman? You said 20, Janice. Do you think in 20 years you fulfilled every man's desire? Okay, then has he fulfilled mine? So does he expect me
Exactly.
to cheat? And what did he say? No, you married. Keep your legs closed.
Like, well, see, that's the
Double.
contradictory,
It's
and it's
always been a double standard. It's always been a double standard.
yes,
To we're going to talk about wow, three mistakes that women make when men cheat. Since will have to be impacted by it, I won't say all. I don't want to believe all is such a broad term. I don't want to
yes, it
believe that
is.
all men cheat. I'm sure there's three men out there that don't cheat. Three mistakes women
Three,
make.
three.
I'm sure there's more. That was being funny. Man cheats, it feels like your entire universe is crumbling around you, or when your woman cheats. Most people dealing with cheating start thinking of ways to fix the situation. They wonder what they've done to drive them to the arms of another person. They struggle to think of ways to bring him or her back. Stop. Cheaters cheat. That's it. Cheating is not about boredom or dissatisfaction. Cheating is the result of a psychological flaw that allows men or women to rationalize cheating and breaking vows. Healthy reactions to uncommon relationship struggles. Rather, they are unhealthy reactions to trials and tribulations that are common to most relationships from time to time. Embarrass yourself, making the same mistakes millions of women make when they know their man is cheating. Save your self respect, dignity, and time by cutting your losses and freeing yourself for a better relationship with a more functional man. Now, I think it probably needs to be said. I don't like that occasional cheating because how frequent is that?
Exactly.
Not that a person can't slip. They're to me in a different category. We're talking about people that cheat. I mean, this is who they are, and this is what they are. They cheat. Let's talk about some of those mistakes, Chanel.
All right, mistake number one is the investigation. When women suspect their man is cheating, the first mistake is that they are launching a fact finding mission, spying, calling around, and interrogating their partners. Women invest their energy in the senseless hunt to prove what isn't already obvious. The relationship is seriously broken. So, driving yourself mad to try and catch them in the act of cheating won't deliver peace of mind.
That's true.
Why waste your time? If you feel it, then it's real. You know how someone acts and if they change and do start doing things differently.
But if everyone's going to do it, and if this is a good guy, this is how this started up. If everyone is doing it, and if this is a one-time event, this is a good guy. Um, are you going to let it go that quickly? Get it out here. Then I'm going to ask you to read some of these comments.
Go.
So, okay, as a millennial,
if I'm not, I don't think I see, if I don't see a future like later on, if I feel like this is something that's going to be a constant, because if I see your behaviors changing, then why continue?
Well, if you're dating, you should let it go, because if you're
Exactly.
dating and he's messing around, then if you ever take it any further, he's going to mess around. So
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
these.
All right, we have some comments from our fellow viewers on Facebook Live, and some go out to say that it goes both ways. Women and men are smarter, and women are less messy, and we are smarter.
And I agree with that too.
That's why they don't want us to cheat, because they
Gonna
probably
say,
won't
wait.
figure it out.
What do
You wouldn't know.
Think of-
You wouldn't figure it out. I
Okay.
can still put on this face at home, but you don't know. At home.
Why is he laughing at me? Okay. I
So,
agree. I agree with that.
yeah. So we have some other people also talking about how cheating. Some people don't feel that their husband would do this to them.
That's how you initially
the covenant that they made.
When you get married, isn't that how you're supposed to feel?
Yeah, and
Who said that? You can read the first name.
Sharia.
Sharae's right though. I mean, when you get married, you don't get married to mess around. You don't have to get married.
Exactly.
Why get married if you're going to be out there anyway? Whatever. Go ahead.
That the article is dead on about the investigation. Don't waste your time.
Yeah,
You feel it in your gut. You all feel it in your gut.
I've played I Spied, follow people, I put trackers on, I've checked pockets. I mean, I've done those things, and this is absolutely right. Thought I heard the phone. Okay, go ahead, read the next
All right,
one.
and we do have they say that the definition is on point about cheating. It's acceptable when men cheat, but men cannot accept when women do the same. Men are Mr. Women, given different names.
And what did Miss Wanda say about Becky?
Let's see. She says, I think Becky's have more men willing to marry them, but therefore no need to use a defense mechanism of saying, I don't need a man.
Excellent. Now, that's an excellent point, because when you go out drinking with Becky, they talk just as much stuff as we do. They be talking, but then that's a good point. That's a good point. We are. I cannot believe we're almost out of time. Okay, we got two quick mistakes. Did you name all the mistakes? You said the investigation.
No. Blaming the other woman and changing to keep him. Wow. I'm not changing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but a lot of people say, well, it must be me, so maybe I need to change because I'm not cooking enough, or my toast is burnt. We want to thank the caller, Khalid. Thank you so much. He has been a regular guest on the show, and we're going to have him come back in and argue with him a little bit on on his feelings. It's always a pleasure. We're thanking you, the listening audience, all of you, for tuning in. And keep in mind, we're on every Wednesday at 6 p.m. right here on Intellectual Radio, and we'll be on Facebook Live as well as www.intellectualradio.com. We want to thank you. My name is Lady J, and thank you for coming and listening to us today.
And I'm Shamel. Please enjoy your week.
Enjoy your week. And keep in mind, where there's no vision, there's no hope. Keep your eyes open, stay woke, keep your pants up and your legs crossed.
Have a blessed week.